Interview with Mike, take one.
Mark?
Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your personal history, how you got to doing what you do.
I'm Mike Bolhuis from Special Investigations. We are specialist investigators into serious violent and serious economic crimes. We've been doing this for 40 years. The last 20 years we've been especially dealing with serious violent and serious economic crimes.
What got you into it?
Well, from a young age I was an interferer. If I saw something go wrong, I would interfere, try and sort it. It just escalates from there. First the nightclubs and then eventually safety and security services for all businesses, debt collection, you know it, all those in the past, and then eventually serious investigations working with the police.
That was going to be my next question. Do you work with the police and what's your relationship with them like?
We believe that the police must be supported, so that's our main rule. We also believe that the police should always be number one, so we'll always be number two. And we also believe that working with the police is the only answer, always and in future. So we daily try and have the best relationship with the police. It's not always easy. There's a lot of corruption in the police. But when we do identify policemen that really wants to protect and serve, we go out of our way, we assist, we'll even help with training, but we work with them hand in hand to fight crime, combat crime.
What are some of the standout cases that you've worked on in your career?
There's so many, but obviously the horrific crimes always comes to mind, like the Delmas baby murder was one of the worst. There's so many murders. We deal with so many murders. So the murder cases do come to mind. Well, obviously the serious economic crimes as well. And usually the worst ones are those that are in it for the money and then would kill for the money. So it's very difficult to highlight one or two, but I would say that the Delmas murder is one that always comes to mind.
How do you get involved? Do people phone you, or do the police contact you, or do you sometimes just have an interest? Like, how do you get called?
By now we're extremely well known. Everybody knows exactly who we are, what we stand for. We are known as the go-to guys, the end of the line. As previously said, we try and build bridges constantly and keep relationships with all other private investigations, all safety and security institutions and the police and government. So many of these institutions would make use of our services and ask us to assist them. And the public has always an open door. We're private police. We have very big projects. We have very big projects out there which the people read and follow. We've got a massive following on Facebook. We've got massive platforms. Basically being so well known has made it a gateway for the people to contact us when all else fails. And that's usually when they do.
What stage do they contact you?
People usually, and all institutions would usually call us when all else fails. But we have seen in the last couple of years that people bring us fresh cases because they've lost complete trust in the authorities, the police, the lawyers, or other safety and security institutions. And we try our best. We are very successful, but we can also only deal with what we get. Many a times we do get fresh or old cases or cold cases that has been so bungled or has no evidence. So it's very difficult. So unfortunately, you'll get a situation sometimes where cases are brought to you and it cannot be solved. You cannot fabricate the truth or facts. You can only deal with what you get. And unfortunately, in South Africa, there are many, many unsolved cases due to that fact.
Right, so let's get into the Knysna Muders. At what stage did you get involved? Because obviously the murders would have happened and the police would have been investigating.
You guys have got all the dates and you'll do the narrating and all of that.
We'll put all the facts in, we just need the story of your
So the Plet Knysna George area came to our attention when the first murder was committed by whom is now in prison by Jaime, and that was Jessica Wheeler. We were appointed to come down urgently and do the investigation when a second murder was committed. My specialist investigator Paul Jansen van Rensburg and Vince Harris went down, and it was very quick that we have identified that this could be a serial killer. At that stage, we needed to inform the public. So obviously, when we involved in cases, due to the fact that we are well known when we do cases like this, the media would contact us, and we never say no comment. So there's no such situation that we cut out the media unless it can harm the case. In this case, we wanted to warn the public that it's our opinion there might be a serial killer. Take note that we were there days before we found, what was her name again?
Victoria Stadler.
Yeah. Take note that we were days before there. Take note that we were there days before when we got the first call from the father and mother that Victoria Stadler went missing. So when we found her, and when the investigation was done by my investigators in the police, it wasn't immediately agreed upon that this could be a serial killer, but my specialist investigators did say that this man, because of investigating the first murder as well, that he might be a serial killer. Fortunately, we identified that and we made it public. As I've said, we give all the information to the media, all the police obviously as well. We worked hand in hand with the police. But the investigation very quickly identified Jaime, what's his surname? The investigation from my investigators very quickly showed that Jaime van Rooyen was involved, and they concentrated on him, and the DNA and all the evidence that followed afterwards made it a watertight case.